ستانلي راح الباب الاحمر، لكني ما راح اروح الاحمر، بروح الازرق.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the...
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويعطيكم العافية. معاكم أخوكم إبراهيم من قناة كويتي جيمر، وإحنا اليوم معاكم بحلقة مميزة من لعبة ستانلي بيربل. أول شيء لا تنسون تدعمونا باللايك والكومنت والاشتراك، وخلوني أعطيكم معلومات. أول شيء عن اللعبة. لعبة ستانلي بيربل هي عبارة عن شنو؟ أنت تلعب بشخص اسمه ستانلي، موظف بشركة. حلو؟ بيوم من الأيام ستانلي هذا دش الشركة، ما لقى أحد، هو موظف مدخل بيانات عادية. يعني هذا طول عمره وكان مرتاح بوظيفته ومستانس، يعني ما عليه ولا يبون منه الرجال. حلو. بيوم من الايام دخل الشركه، ما لقى احد، ماكو احد من ربعه يسلم عليه، ماكو احد يعطى اوامر شنو يسوي، شنو البيانات اللي دخلها، شنو البيانات اللي طلعها، ما يدري شنو وضع الشركه. كانت حيل هدوء. فالحين خلونا نبلش معاكم اللعبه ونشوف شنو قصه ستانلي. وطبعا اللعبه لها نظام، في اوامر راح تسمعها، اذا طبقتها راح تخلص اللعبه بالطريقه اللي يبيها الكمبيوتر، او انك تعانده ويقزرها عليك، يسكر باب يبطل عليك باب ثاني، او انه ممكن يصير الوضع مرعب، ممكن انه وانت شنو تبي. اللعبه لها فوق 30 نهايه، وانت اللي تتحكم بستانلي. والحين خلونا نلعب وراح تفهمون نظام اللعبه مع اللعب. يلا نبلش. خلونا نشوف. هذه قصة واحد اسمه ستانلي.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
قلت لكم ستانلي موظف بشركة كبيرة، وهو يسمى الموظف 427.
He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard.
وظيفته بسيطة، مدخل بيانات.
Telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month of every...
هذا شغله كل يوم وكل شهر وكل سنة.
Others might have considered it soul-eating. Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
ستانلي كان سعيد وراضي بوظيفته.
And then one day something very peculiar happened.
لكن بيوم من الأيام
Something that would forever change.
صار شيء غريب.
Something he would never quite forget.
ما يقدر ينساه.
For nearly an hour, when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
قاعد على مكتبه وما حد عطاه معلومات ولا شيء، ولا حتى أحد يسلم عليه.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very...
هذا كان اللي صار حق ستانلي، عزل تام بالوظيفة، وانصدم ليش ما في أحد والمكان معزول نهائي.
But as he came to his wits and regained his...
شو اللي صار؟ أول قرار ما عليه، ما أدري شنو صار. أول قرار صار حق ستانلي الحين إنه قام من مكتبه وراح طلع برا المكتب. خلونا الحين نطبق أول قرار. طلعنا برا المكتب.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
كل الموظفين مو موجودين، فستانلي قرر انه يروح غرفة الاجتماعات. طبعا انت ما تقدر تبطل بيبان الا البيبان اللي اللعبة مبطلتها لك.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
لما نوصل ستانلي عند بابين، راح الباب اللي على اليسار. خلونا الحين نمشي ويا اللعبة. رحنا الباب اللي على اليسار. اوكي، شنو بيصير بالباب اللي غرفة الاجتماعات؟ حلو، وصلنا غرفة.
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
قاعد يقول لك انه هم دخل غرفة الاجتماعات ما لقى حد ستانلي، فقرر انه يروح غرفة مديره بالطابق العلوي. فالحين بنروح الطابق العلوي ويا ستانلي. شنو هذه الغرفة؟ خلونا نروح الطابق العلوي. نقدر نروح تحت ان شاء الله. انا اقدر اروح تحت، بس ابي اسمع كلام اللعبة اول شيء. بالتختيمة الاولى بنسمع كلام اللعبة. خلينا نشوف لما نروح طابق المدير. هاي غرفة المدير. لا هذا الحمام تكرمون. ايوه غرفة المدير.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this.
انصدم إنه ما في أحد
was
ستانلي.
being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
2845.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845. قاعد يقول ان الموظف انصدم انه لما جاء غرفة المدير ما لقى احد نهائيا.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
يقول لك لما ندخل الرقم فتح له باب جديد او مكان جديد. خلونا نشوف المكان هذا. انزين هني مسكر ما لنا الا هني. خلينا نشوف شنو قصة المدير وليش خاش عن ستانلي. هاي صارت اوتلاست. رحنا تحت نزلنا. وين تحت ما ندري. خلونا الحين نشوف وين بيودينا وشنو اللي بيسويه فينا. نزلنا إلى أعماق المبنى.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself.
ستانلي في قرارة نفسه مو مرتاح.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
ستانلي يعني قام يسأل نفسه أسئلة وايد مو عارف جواب حق الوضع اللي هو فيه هني.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
قاعد يقول ان ستانلي دخل غرفة المايند كنترول فاسيلتي اللي هي يعني مايند كنترول تحكم بالعقل. يعني المدير قاعد يتحكم بعقل ستانلي. معقولة؟ نشوف.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
الغرفة متروسة تلفزيونات. شنو السر وراء هذه التلفزيونات؟
To find out.
تبي تعرف السر ليش هذه التلفزيونات الوايد موجودة؟ دش هناك وكمل طريقك. خلونا نعرف شنو سر الغرفة هذه. في 3 مكاتب وفي كاميرات هني.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where...
المدير كان يتحكم بعقل جميع الموظفين وستانلي واحد منهم. كل الموظفين اللي عليهم كاميرات المدير كان يراقبهم ويراقب حياتهم ويتحكم فيهم. خلونا نكمل. شنو موضوع المدير؟ انا غرفتي 427 يعني اللي هي هذه امبلوي CCTV مراقبة. غرفة يراقبني الملعون قاعد يراقبني.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
ستانلي انصدم ان وظيفته المملة كلها كانت قاعد يتحكمون بعقله ومخلينه يتوظف. يعني هو ممكن ما يبي الوظيفة هذه لكن لانه قاعد يتحكم بعقله المدير فهو ظل بهالوظيفة هذه المملة. صارت مملة الحين.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept.
ما رضى انه يصدق ان هم قاعد يتحكمون فيه.
Control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
ستانلي مو مصدق ان طول الفترة هذه بحياته هو يتحكمون فيه، مو قاعد يتحكم بنفسه.
The heart of the operation, controls labeled with emotions, happy, or sad, or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
ستانلي ما رضى انه يتمون يتحكمون فيه، فقرر انه يروح حق الجهاز اللي يشغل الاداة هذه ويسكره على طول. فخلونا نروح حق الجهاز ونسكر الجهاز هذا على طول، لان انا ستانلي ما احب احد يتحكم فيني، انا بقرارة نفسي ما احب احد يقرر عني. تبون ستانلي يتحكمون فيه؟
Last he found the source of the room's power. He knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
قرر انه يحط حد لكل هذا ويطفي الجهاز. شو اللي صار؟ منو جاينا العزة؟ ها.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
صار ظلمة.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
فاز على الآلة.
Someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay.
الحرية على بعد خطوات من ستانلي يا جماعة.
The workers gone. How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
قدر انه يتخلى عن الآلة.
Sunlight streamed into the chamber. He realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand.
قرر ان كل اللي كان عنده من معلومات وثقافة مو مهمة كثر السعادة والحرية.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
ستانلي قرر انه خلاص يرجع حق حياته الطبيعية ويطلع من الباب، بس ماني شايف باب.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
ستانلي طلع من الخط اللي كان فيه وقرر انه يعيش حياته بسعادة. فهذه قصة ستانلي مع اللعبة. الحين خلونا نعاند اللعبة، بنشوف اذا عاندنا. شنو هذا؟ شنو هذا؟ ستانلي ما طلع من الجهاز؟
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
شو اللي صار بالأرض؟ ستانلي قرر انه يروح غرفة الاجتماعات، بس الأرض ليش صار فيها أوراق؟
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
ستانلي راح الباب اللي على اليسار. انزين، بس انه في اوراق، تغير شيء. تبون لا بعاند هالمرة، بعاند ما رايح
This
يسار.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
قاعد يقول ستانلي يدري ان الطريق هذا غلط وما سمع الكلام، والحين هو بيروح حق يعني استراحة الموظفين.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed.
قاعد يقول حلو. ستانلي راح غرفة الموظفين فبيقعد شوية وطلع ثاني. ستانلي لازم يدش الباب اللي على اليسار، ما راح اروح الباب اللي على اليسار.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he was.
ستانلي كان سيء في تتبع القرارات. شنو هذا؟ بيتين شلون؟ اللي يطيح غرض راح يغرمونه 10,000 دولار، واللي ينط من فوق يغرمونه 5000. اوكي.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy.
قاعد يقول يا ستانلي احنا الحين خلاص تعبنا من كثر ما ان نعاند بعض.
But the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's something you've been neglecting.
خلاص بوديك انا طريق ثاني. انا ما راح اروح الطريق الثاني، بروح.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
قاعد يقول انت مو خايف على نفسك وتبي تعاندني؟
I really do want to help you to show
ما بيك تساعدني. ما بيك تساعدني.
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
قاعد يقول خلني اثبت لك اني انا وياك مو ضدك. ما راح اخليك تثبت لي، ما راح اسمع كلامك. في باب واحد هني.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
ستانلي راح الباب الاحمر، لكني ما راح اروح الاحمر، بروح الازرق.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
ما راح اروح. ما راح اسمع كلام.
I don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
ماني رايح في باب ثاني في شيء. حلو.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to...
قاعد يقول خلاص سوي اللي براسك ولا تسمع كلامي.
You've chosen well. Don't let me stop you.
يقول انا ما راح اوقفك، خلاص سوي اللي براسك، تبي تسوي اللي براسك سوى، ما راح اوقفك.
You see? There's nothing here.
قاعد يقول شفت يلا ماكو شيء.
This section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures.
يقول قلت لك اسمع كلامي، واخر شيء غرفتك مسكرة.
The entire story I had written out specifically for you. Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
يقول آخر شيء ما نفعك عنادك، رحت غرفة مسكرة.
Strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what.
يقول شنو متوقع انك تشوفه هني سيارات؟
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
قاعد يقول اعطيتك الحين خيار ثالث. روح الخيار الثالث. ما راح اروح الخيار الثالث. بروح الطريق هذا.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
قاعد يقول عطني تقييم بحلاوة اللعبة. يقول أنا أتمنى إنك تعطيني تقييم عالي. فأنا
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I saying?
قاعد يقول أنا توقعت إنك ما تعطيني يعني تقييم حلو، بس يقول ما توقعت إنه 1.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
أوكي. قاعد يقول أنا توقعت إن خلنا نرجع نشوف.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
قاعد يقول الحين أنا رديتك هني وعطيتك فرصة ثانية. عطني تقييم زين. ما أبي.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtime. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
قاعد يقول أنت مستانس على التقييم اللي أعطيتني إياه، خلاص أنا بوديك مكان ثاني.
This game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world...
يقول إذا ضغطت الزر راح تنقذ حياة الياهل.
Of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
قاعد يقول لازم تنقذه. ما راح انقذه. موت.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite
قاعد يقول هل انت تكره
If it's the
الاطفال؟
latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's
قاعد يقول
over.
انا خلصت معك.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to
يقول دام ان اللعبه مو عاجبتك ليش ما تخلي احد ثاني يلعبها؟
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
يقول خلاص انا بعطيك فرصه ثانيه. شنو؟ ماينكرافت؟
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough?
يقول يكفيك هذا؟
I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose.
يقول عاجبك يعني العنيد؟ يبناك مكان غير اللي انا مسوي. يقول انا ببني بيت الحين.
This will go here, no, here, and then.
قاعد يقزرها علي شوفوا لان تعانده يقزرها.
See, what does it need? Yes, of course, and just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
قاعد يقول دش داخل وحس بالراحة. يصير اسكر الباب؟ ما يصير اسكره. يعني فملزوم اني ادش. يلا.
Grand. Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
يقول لازم نبني البيت من الألماس. الماس؟ وين الماس؟ ماني شايف. راح اخذ الماس. وين الألماس؟ زين انا ماني شايف الماس. ما في الا هالطريق.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. You brought a light?
قاعد يقول ان المكان قاعد يصير اظلم. هل تحتاج ليت؟ انا محتاج ليت. ما احتجناه بالعاب الرعب الثانيه نحتاجه عندك بلعبه ستانلي. لا يبا.
Oh no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind.
قاعد يقول لا هذا بعيد عن النهايه.
Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
قاعد يقول هذا بعيد عن النهايه. اوكي راح اعطيك لعبه جديده. ان من البدايه اعيدك. شنو هذا؟ انا وين؟
Yes, I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to
يقول انت الحين محكور.
Inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What's the game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
يقول انا كنت حاطك بغرفة والحين بطلعك.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley.
اوكي لازم اخذ هذا يعني احطه هني.
Genius.
اوكي.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
قاعد يقول انا الحين خلاص ما راح اساعدك، انا سكرت عليك الباب، تبي انت ساعد عمرك، ما راح اطلعك بالاسانسير لفوق، وخل عنادك ينفعك، وانا من اليوم ورايح ما راح اساعد واحد اسمه ستانلي، والحين سكر علي الباب ومالي الا طريق واحد اللي هو هني تحت، بس راح اموت اتوقع. اوكي ما مت. work in progress. والله في اكثر من طريق، وين اروح؟ منو جاينا هالحزه؟ هذا مسكر هني كذي. شنو هذا؟ وين طحت انا؟ يا ساتر، هذه صارت اوت لاست. باب هني. ياه، وين الطريق؟ زين هناك في طريق، هني في طريق مبطل، في وراي طريق. اي والله كنا هني في طريق، اي والله في طريق. انا قاعد اشوف شيء على الارض ولا يتروالي؟ لا مسكر، مسشر. اطلع مسكر. انا قاعد اشوف شيء على الارض، والله كل هذا يصير اذا عاندته. انزين خلاص ماني معاندك، بس وين الطريق؟ في ليت يا معود، ما احنا معاندينه مره ثانيه. صقر عقله وياي هذا. غرفه ستانلي، غرفته غرفه كمبيوترات صارت. شنو؟
I wonder what he found.
يقول اتساءل شنو لقيت؟
To be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it.
قاعد يقول اذا ما تبي ريال يدليك ليش قاعد تحرك بروحك؟
I wonder if he's happy with his choice and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes.
يقول اتمنى انت مستانس من قراراتك وتأدبت يعني.
He needs me. Someone who will
قاعد يقول انت
in
محتاجني
the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion.
تبي تعدل الفوضى، اسمع كلام.
That is what I mean to this world. Oh yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
قاعد يقول راح ارجع لك مرة ثانية، بس انه بالوقت اللي انا اشوفه صحيح.
I can wait.
يقول برجع لك بس مو الحين. رجع لي اوكي. end is never end. شنو؟ بس غير، رجعني المكتب بس الطريق غير. كل هذا لاني قاعد اعاندك.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
ما راح اروح، راح اتم عندك، انت قزرتها علي.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
ما راح اسمع كلامك.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
قاعد يقول ستانلي بيروح حق غرفة الاجتماعات.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
ما راح اروح.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
لحظة أنا ليش خلي أروح الحين فوق دقيقة.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her?
This is it, Stanley. Wants to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
منو هي اللي قاعد تنطر؟
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
منو اللي قاعد تنطر؟ غرفتي.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh,
تستهبل؟
did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
قاعد تستهبل علي أنت؟
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
أخ يقول هذه قصة سيئة عن واحد مات اسمه ستانلي. Good morning employee. Press E on your gamepad. Press E ما راح ارعص الإي برعص X. هلا يبيني ارعص
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
قاعد يقزرها علي. 3 بليز اوكي 3
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work.
قاعد يقزرها علي.
I might even feel sorry.
قاعد يقول قاعد اخليك تسوي كل شيء ابي، مرة اخليك تتغدى، مرة اخليك تروح تنام، الحين ابيك ترعص رقم 8 رقم 8. طاعك الزمان ولا طيع.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
هذه غرفة المدير. ولا بريس وايت واتش تي في يلا.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. And that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
ارعص 3 عشان تاخذ لك وقت مع الشباب تقعد وياهم.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
لا حول الله إلا تمشي على.
Through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
قاعد يتحكم بحياتي.
One path lay an enormous round room, with monitors and mind controls.
تغيرت
Down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. The Stanley Parable.
والله قاعد يقزرها علي يقول لي يلا الحين اضغط اف عشان تقول حق عيالك قصة.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press 0 to tell your wife you love her. ارعص 0 عشان تقول حق زوجتك ان انت تحبها. انا ما اقدر يعني ارعص شيء غير 0.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
SH عشان اروح انام.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he sees himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
اوكي. يقول لا ترعص هذا عشان انه تتم برعص. انا قاعد.
Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
يقول ليش ما تسمع كلامي؟ يقول ارعص ان عشان تسأل عن ولا شيء.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose. The same
يقول انا اللي اتحكم فيه.
We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this and compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time you'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
بليز داي شلون؟ ارعص اي شيء عشان تموت. ها شو اللي صار الحين؟
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
ما في شيء جديد الحين؟
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room.
اوكي الحين انا بسوي شيء جديد.
Well, perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
ما راح اخذه. بي مني وبنط تحت. بشوف اموت
Stanley
ولا.
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
قاعد يقول ستانلي ما رضى انه يسمع كلامي وسوى نفسه انه هو المتحكم باللعبة ونط من فوق. خلينا نشوف الحين باخذ طريق ثاني اللي هو الباب اليسار. بشوف شنو.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
كنا تغيرت الغرفة. كنا تغير الوضع.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room. Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
ما أنا رايح من هناك.
Standing now in this incredible room, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got.
ما أنا رايح. أي هني. طبعا اللعبة يا جماعة كذي إن كل مرة خياراتك تسوي لك شيء.
He wanted to wander about, and get even further off track.
بس الحين
In
بنختم.
order to get back, he needed to go from here it's left.
اوكي قام يتحكم فيني مرة
Oh
ثانية.
no, it's to the right. My mistake.
لا تقزر.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to
قام
the right?
يقزر.
What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Let's see. You went down right, left, down, left.
قاعد تقزرها انت.
Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
قاعد يقول الطريق اكيد من هني. اوه.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick.
قاعد يقول المفروض ما تي هني الحين هذا حرق عليك.
Okay.
Fire.
Back to who am I kidding?
104 مطرود.
It's all rubbish now.
و601 مطرود.
Rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
قاعد يقول راح اعيد لك اللعبة من اول واسمع كلامي.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Well, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room?
لا والله ما غيرت شيء.
Did you move the story?
يا عمي يلحس المخ هذا.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. Yeah, just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
يبا هني بي هني. انت مو تبي الطريق اليسار؟ يا حبيبي. يا حبيبي ستانلي هذا. اوه طريق. لا حول ولا قوة الا بالله.
I'll say it.
Okay.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been to.
يقول هذه أسوأ مغامرة معه.
Story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again. But it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot.
قاعد يقول خلينا نعيد اللعبة مرة ثانية. وبعطيك طريق جديد.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
خلينا نشوف الحين. ما في بيبان.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
اوكي، ليش ما نرجع مرة ثانية ونشوف يمكن نسينا شيء. يلا خلينا نشوف شنو نسينا. بس هذه آخر محاولة الحين ها. اللعبة والله تطول، أنا ما توقعت إنها كذي يعني إن النهايات.
I knew we'd missed something.
قاعد يقول ها أدري إن نسينا شيء، نسينا القصة.
No, wait, never mind, not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
يقول خلنا نرجع مرة ثانية ونلحق خطواتنا. ها عجي وين جينا إحنا؟
Now this, well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
وراح الباب.
Remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this?
قاعد يقول
You win.
حتى أنا نسيت شنو المفروض. فزنا.
You put in a lot of hard work, and it
من كثر ما زهق وهو مو عارف القرارات اللي يبيها كان يقول لي أنت فزت خلاص.
I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
راح يقول لا انت مو فايز
I'm
خلاص.
getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
يقول لو شنو يصير الحين راح امشي على الطريق. اني هاي الكلب.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
يقول بس الحق الخط. اوكي لحظة ماني لاحقه. اذا طلعنا مني مسكر هني ما في بيبان فبنلحق الخط. لزمني على الخط الملعون لزمني على الخط. انتم
The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
يا جماعة انتم متخيلين ان هذه محاولتي الثانية؟ انا محاولتي الاولى خلصت. هذه محاولتي الثانية للحين ما خلصت.
Put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize.
قام يقزرها.
Going with all that.
قاعد يقزرها علي.
I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
يقول انت محتاج موسيقى. سكرها يا حبيبي سكرها يا حبيبي.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
احي والله ردينا المكتب. ها طريق الجديد هذا. المحاولة الثانية بخلصها انا.
Oh no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore.
يبقى اللعبة هاي صدق ما تخلص. ريستارت.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
وين this direction؟ قاعد يقول احنا ناس كبار نقدر نتحكم بقصتنا. خلني اعطيك الباب. ها كاهو نروح باب اللي احنا نبيه.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
بخلص.
Story to be. Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
يقول لو شنو يصير يا ستانلي انا مستعد حق اي شيء يصير.
Oh no, not you again.
ولا
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
يبا بخلص اللعبة.
Just don't acknowledge it.
بختم. والله ابي اختم. هذه المحاولة الثانية.
A choice.
والله نسمع كلامك.
To make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
Okay.
Since the answer is yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
الباب انت تقول لي الباب اليمين ومسكر اليسار. اوكي ملزوم.
Oh, hold up, what's this?
شنو هذا؟ فيرست ريستارت.
Fusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game
The combination
eight
ending?
times?
النهاية
All this goes?
يعني النهاية الحوسة يعني.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget?
صار لي 16 دقيقة بالمحاولة الثانية.
Simply because it's written here on this thing wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want it going on.
إيه بس ما باللعبة تنعاد خلاص.
I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped.
وقف الوقت.
Did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
اللعبة قاعد تتحكم فيني لدرجة إني ما أقدر أتحكم فيها.
You know, I say that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
شو اللي صار؟ شوفوا الحين إن شاء الله إن
All
خلاص.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
إن شاء الله ماكو شيء بعد.
When Stanley came to a set of two
انعادت
open
اللعبة.
doors, he
وبكذي يا جماعة بتكون نهاية حلقتنا من لعبة ذا ستانلي بيربل. ما أدري إذا هل في تكملة إنه حق اللي سويته أنا ما أدري، بس إنه أحس المقطع وايد طال 52 دقيقة، فأتمنى يعني الحلقة عجبتكم. إذا عجبتكم لا تنسون تدعمونا باللايك والكومنت والاشتراك. وبالنسبة على ما تنزل ريزيدنت ايفل باكر راح تشوفون فيديو فورتنايت. اي نعم راح العب فورتنايت، لازم ان يعني امشي ويا الجيل والعب العاب الاونلاين عشان هم القناة شوية يصير فيها تغيير، مع اني ما احب العاب مثل فورتنايت وهذيلا، لكن لابد ان نغير بالقناة. يعني العاب المغامرات والاكشن والرعب لازم ان نلعب العاب الاونلاين ونستقطب جيل اخر يعني. فاتمنى الحلقة عجبتكم. اذا عجبتكم لا تنسون تدعمونا باللايك والكومنت والاشتراك. كان معاكم اخوكم ابراهيم من قناة كويتي جيمر. نشوفكم ان شاء الله في الحلقة الجاية. سلام عليكم.